Welcome to the Daily Devotional Podcast with author, pastor, and speaker Zach Maldonado, a podcast about helping you know and enjoy Christ each day.
I learned the hard way that driving after midnight, not a good idea. I was heading to meet my dad a few hours from where I lived and where I was going to college at the time so that we could go deer hunting. And it was in the middle of winter, and in Texas, that's usually not a big deal, but it happened to have snowed here, and there was ice and snow on the ground. And so I set out shortly after midnight and was driving well below the speed limit, really. And I was amazed at how many people were going past me. They were going way faster than I was, and I was being like an old man driving slow, and they were flying past me. And next thing I knew, my pickup loses control. I hit some black ice. I did a 180, and I was headed for the ditch. And as I looked out my side window, I looked and I saw, there's a fence, and I'm just going to hit the fence and I'm going to be okay. Well, right about the time I was thinking that, boom, I hit the wire that is basically stabilizing those big electrical poles, those big wooden light or electrical poles, and it completely slammed my head against the window. It totaled my truck. It bent the frame, and it was crazy. But, not a scratch on me. And a lot of times, isn't this what life feels like? We're going, we think things are going to be okay, and then out of nowhere, we get whapped. We get slammed. We get popped in the face, boom, if you will, right? And this is crazy. We lose control. We hit black ice. Then we think we get control again, and then something else hits us. And no matter how hard we try to make our life work, sometimes it's anxiety, or it's a circumstance, or it's an emotion, and we don't have control. A death, a lost job, a pandemic. It feels like hitting black ice. My pickup was totaled, but I was great. And this is really a perfect picture of what it means that Christ is our life. We can feel like everything around us is spinning out of control. We can wreck our circumstance by our decisions or just by life happening to us, and yet Christ will never leave us. Spiritually, we are safe and secure with Him. Our circumstances, our choices, nothing can cause Christ to leave us. Nothing can spiritually harm us. He's always working in us no matter what's happening around you and I. I love being organized. I love files. I love drawers. I love spreadsheets. And I've noticed that many of us treat God like a file among many. We have a file for our family, a file for our money, a file for our job or our church. And lastly, we have a file for God. But God is not a file, if you will. God is the whole filing cabinet. God is our life. It's from Him that we live our life. He is our life. He is our everything. He's the one who shapes and organizes and guides our life. And through Christ, we see everything through that lens. So you don't go to work and leave God at your quiet time. No, God is in you at work and in your relationships and in your hobbies and with your family and everything that you do. So no matter what happens, Christ is simply the context by which you experience life is the context by which you experience Christ, right? So, like you're watching TV in your living room. Well, you're watching the TV, you're experiencing the TV, but you're in the context of your living room. Well, you take that TV and you go outside. Well, you're still experiencing that TV. It's like Christ. Like the context may change, but we're always getting to experience Christ, and we do that through other people. We do that through different events, and that's what I'm trying to say, that no matter what happens day to day, we can know that our source of joy and peace is found in Christ alone. And so it's not about having more faith in order to make our circumstances better, nor is it about doing more in order to be more victorious. Instead, it's about trusting Christ, who is life to us, even in the midst of all of our bad circumstances. So I can lose everything in this life. It can be all taken away. And no matter what, I still have Christ. And the things of this world do not give me life, nor do they give you life. Only Jesus does, and He truly is enough. So only having more, that's a facade. Jesus is truly all we need, and we get to experience him, we get to enjoy him, and we get to be with him in the midst of our job and our family and everything we do in this life.
You've been listening to the Daily Devotional Podcast with Zach Maldonado. Join us each day for a new devotional that will help you know and enjoy Christ. For more great content from Zach, including his books, sermons, and more, check out ZachMaldonado.com.